So today, speaking to Isaac and Ellie from the Closer, congratulations.
Thank you.
And congratulations on your nominations, of course.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for joining us. Who wants to tell us the premise of the film, how it all came about, what the film's actually about, and where it came from?
So this film is about the real estate crash of 2008.
Yeah.
So we do real estate, and we saw a lot of stories, a lot of incidents that really happened.
So you were there during 2008?
Yes.
Right, okay.
And we saw a lot of these incidents happening, and we decided to write a story about it and to produce it and to make it.
Right.
So there's a lot of it's like the boiler room, just for the real estate side of the aspect. The boiler room is for the Wall Street, the Closer is for the real estate. All the crimes and undergoing of the crash that went on.
Yeah, I'm a filmmaker, and so when I actually went to work in the real estate just prior to the big crash, when the big crash happened, I had an idea of maybe writing a movie about everything that happened, and I didn't know Isaac, he's a filmmaker.
So it's just pure coincidence.
And with pure coincidence, we ran into each other and we were talking, and we realized that we have almost the same idea. And so we got together and we kind of sat down and wrote the script and went about trying to find funding for the film. But it was around 2009 and the crash was decimating all of the financial venues that we had. So we shelved the project for a couple of years, and then we came back to it and we decided to finance and produce it ourselves. And Isaac was the executive producer and a co-writer. We both wrote it, put the majority of the money in, and we decided to actually use, because it was self-financed, we decided that we need to find raw, amazing talent from New York. We didn't have the budget, the big budget for an A-lister, but we knew we were going to find. So we took upon ourselves to cast the movie, and in over 3 months, we must have looked at maybe 1,000 actors, and we cast the movie. It was
selected a few very, very good ones.
Yeah.
It's brilliantly acted. I mean, there's no getting away from that. Now, a couple of filmmakers I've spoken to before, I've asked the question. When they come in for the casting call, for the interview, for the screen test, they know within a couple of minutes if they're right. Would you agree with that or not?
Yes.
Is it that quick?
Absolutely.
Yeah, actually, within the casting sessions, you're looking for that lightning to strike. It's just you take a seat back and you kind of waiting for something to happen, which you can describe. And when that happens, you know that you are standing in front of someone who can deliver.
Yeah.
And aside from looks that you have in mind, you want to be able to sit there and forget that you're in audition, that you're watching a performance, because you get so drawn into the performance. And that's how we isolated a handful of actors, and then we did a second call and finally came down with the cast that it's in the movie.
Yeah, as I say, brilliant cast. Now, I know this is set during that crash. How much of what's on screen did you actually witness? Because I'm sure it's
inspired by true events, but it's pretty much a lot of those. Obviously it's a movie, so but it's everything that happens. Like the instance, tell them the story about the auction scene, for example.
So the auction scene actually is a scene that happened. A lot of people that we know actually went down to jail and got caught about it. It was a monopolize of the auction, so only they could buy the properties. If somebody from the outside comes, they would like.
Oh, it's like a closed shop. We call it closed shop.
Exactly, closed shop. Yeah, so they don't let anybody else coming in, and then they sell the property among themselves.
Right. They actually got together before the day of the auction, and they decided who's buying what, and then they would outbid out strangers and raise their prices, and then they would take them to the sales. Listen, if you try to get a house here, which is going to outbid you, so it's a lose-lose proposition for you. Take a couple of dollars, get out of the way, because there's no way you could touch those houses. And someone from the outside complained about it, And so after 2 years of investigation, the whole ring got nabbed. And it was in the newspapers. And so the movie is constructed from those kind of incidents, and we weaved it into a film.
Now, the Steven character, we have a Steven character, which is Robert Berlin, is a very, very good actor. Everybody in the real estate knows some kind of Steven out there.
Yes.
Like almost in everybody's world in the real estate, there is a character like that out there, which you put it down very, very correctly and like nailed it. Patrick also was very good.
So you've actually encountered.
You
based on people.
But the events that depict in the movie, didn't happen to one particular person that's a Steven. We heard about this incident happening to one fella. These incidents are being done. So we kind of weaved all of those incidents, and we made this fictionalized
wrote a story about it. Made a story.
Steven that one person actually experienced. All of them, in essence, those incidents happen to various different people around the industry.
I mean, I don't want to veer too far from the film, because what's fascinating about this is that you were party to what happened. Is there a point where you can remember that you're sitting at your desk, you're home, and you're like, shit, we are, as a country, as an economy, we are in serious trouble?
Absolutely.
Was it that quick?
Absolutely.
Before the crash even, it was in late 2007 when the actual crash, came out in 2008, but the people in the real estate started understanding what's going on at the end of 2007 when banks that were supposed to give mortgages started going belly up.
Yeah.
And that was way before the whole mess started with the big banking. Because the type of real estate that Isaac is done on the front line. So he felt it firsthand.
So this story basically is about greed. A lot of people. There is a lesson to learn from this movie. The lesson is that these people basically, not to be greedy, when they want to make another deal in another transaction, and they borrow money from the wrong sources, and when the market hits and things go bad and they cannot return the money for the wrong people they borrow from, then things get escalated and things start rolling in, and that's what the movie is all about. What was it? I don't know if it's the right word to use.
Was it an amazing time to live through? What I mean by that, it must have been a terrible time, but was it amazing because of what you saw happening?
It's an experience.
You could actually divide it to, like, on the one hand we went like, oh my God, the whole world is coming to an end, and on the other hand, the artistic approach for us as Mr. Jekyll and Dr.
Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yes. Yeah. So one is like, oh my God, the world is coming to an end. And on the other, there's a really good story here, and this is like really a good story that needs to be told.
Before, because it's it's still relevant even now. We're feeling the shockwaves. Forget about Brexit, that's our own problem. But in terms of the financial crash, which we all party to, because I can literally remember happening. I was listening to Radio 4, and suddenly banks were collapsing, there's money flowing out of the system. But it's surprising it hasn't been done, because it hasn't really been.
Because
this is going to be in the part 2 of the movie. Maybe there's going to be
but I think what's you're referring to why it hasn't been done, meaning the movie was told in that.
Well, any kind of movie.
Because I think that aside from we both sort of depict the story from the street level, what happened to regular Joe on the street. But when it moved to global economy, and when the whole mess started when Wall Street actually decided that they want to come in on the party, and they were the one who came to the smaller banks and said, don't sell your file of giving a certain individual mortgage to Chase, we'll take over, and if we don't want to regulate you, so whatever you have we'll buy. And that started the whole thing. But like you said, when it moved to the platform of global big money, then there was no time for the little men to kind of tell the story. And we always said, like, we don't understand why the story is always being told from a higher point of view. Nobody's talking about
the bottom person.
And we said we gotta do it. We have to do it. We gotta tell the story.
So how about you've got the cast together. The story's obviously nailed. You're about to. I mean, how long did the shoot last? How difficult
A month.
was the shoot? A month, right?
Yes, a month.
And it all went smoothly.
Yeah.
Very smooth. It went very smooth. Everything takes time because it's an indie movie and it's a small budget, so
Small crew.
Everything takes, you know.
But it's
more
cleverly
work.
filmed because I know it's like you said, it's a small budget, but the way it's been put together is you wouldn't really think that.
Absolutely not. This
Right.
is like a high budget
Yeah.
movie according to, because all the locations is people that we know. We got real banks giving us their bank to shoot in. The
How did you
locations
do
are
that?
real
How much
locations.
did you have?
Well, he has a lot of
Oh, the
connections.
connections,
Yeah.
We're still in this business, so we know
Yeah.
a lot of people in it. And there is only so many stories you could put into one movie. So maybe we put together something else, you know, part 2 of this.
Because it's such an enthralling story. This could almost be like a series, couldn't it?
Yes.
Because really, there's millions and millions of stories.
Absolutely. And it's still going on.
Yeah,
And
well,
it's
it
still
is,
going
yeah.
on, yes.
So, is there potentially a sequel, or have you got something? I mean, you don't have to reveal what it is, but are you thinking about something completely different?
We have some ideas. We have some ideas in our mind. We have some offers that we're discussing, and we have some talks.
And what's the most memorable thing you can take away from making this? What really sticks in your mind?
Greed is bad.
Greed is bad.
Greed
Yes.
is bad,
Greed
yeah.
is very
Greed
bad.
is bad. We know
Gotta know when
it.
to stop,
Not
you know?
from the stories that happen to other people. We know it from the real estate industry and from some personal experiences as well.
But I mean, I guess you knew that anyway. But is this just enhanced what you already knew as you made the film? Because you've obviously seen it at the worst side of it,
Yes.
the excess and people losing money, the despair.
And we still see it.
Yeah.
And we still see it.
And has making this made you? Has it focused that even more? Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, you're humbled by this experience. Before the crash, you know, you think like it's euphoria. It was euphoria. There was a sense of euphoria. There were the Mercedeses and the Rolexes and you think like, oh, this ride will never end, and you don't have to be a real smart man to say, hold on one second, let me look at real estate cycle in the last 30 years and witness that you are every 8 years or so there's a fall. And we were thinking like, okay, that last ride off before it crashed lasted for almost 13 years. But a lot of people didn't even, because money was just coming in and people didn't really care and they thought this ride would never last.
And what we're talking about is vast sums of money here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is not chicken feed money. Real estate, by any stretch of the imagination,
It's the big number.
it's huge. Isn't it?
It's the highest tag market.
Yes, exactly.
It's the highest tag market that you could sell. But what's interesting about making a movie is that there is 3 times that you see the movie from different directions, different perspectives. When you have it in mind, when you write it, and when you film it. And then when you see it, it's completely, each time of these times is completely different times, a different view of the whole story.
Yeah, you write it and that's the blueprint of the film, and when you go and shoot it, things doesn't work sometimes, scenes doesn't work, locations doesn't work. So you shoot it and you adjust. You're shooting on set, and then when you get into the editing room and you realize that some stuff that worked didn't make sense.
And there's another completely new set of pictures.
So you make the film 3 times. I think that's what Isaac was trying to say. When you write it, it's the first version. When you edit it, it takes on a second version. And when you shoot it, it takes a second version. And when you edit, you come out slightly different than what the original screenplay was, which happened with this film. That's my 3rd feature film, and I warned Isaac when
it's the first one. That's like the whole process is like very, very exciting process.
Yeah.
Especially coming out here to Madrid to the film festival. This is like very, very, very exciting.
No, you've done really well. And all filmmakers say to me the same thing. It's a bit of a mantra. They say it's like a drug addiction being a filmmaker.
It is.
Honestly, once they've stepped, I know this is your 3rd, but once they've started it, they can't. Or they can't stop. No.
Yeah.
So are you still in real estate? Or are you now? Hang on. What I really want to do is this full time. And is it now all about producing?
No, I'm still in real estate. I work full time in real estate, but we are thinking about some other things to do and we're working on a few things.
Guys, fantastic.
Thank you very
well
much.
Done, well done, well done.
Thank you so much.
Lovely to meet you. Brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you for having us, and thank you for the Madrid International Film Festival for hosting our film.
Absolutely.
It's a great pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you.